All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Beastars, Season 2, Episode 9.
Oh, boy.
Right, we had a lot of
last
characters
episode.
figuring out how to handle their weaknesses.
We did.
And their flaws. And what they can overcome in the meantime to develop their strengths. There's a lot of characters that are dealing with that. Loved the stuff they had with Juno, though. That was really
excellent.
good. And then ending it, of course, with Louis.
Ending it with Louis was a strong note. You know, it was a good sort of drop.
Right.
For the very end.
Definitely.
But we also got that whole bit with Sheila, you know, which was a pleasant surprise. And then, of course, Legoshi and
It's training. Yes. Yes. It was chilling and impressive. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Alright everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. Alright, this is my kind of Beastars.
Oh my god.
We got
love that
ourselves
episode
a combination of everything that I really like about it, except maybe focusing on some of the side characters, which is
we didn't get any Haru, which, you know,
or Juno.
Or Juno. And I would say that I am always a fan of when those characters are on screen. But
Louis and Legoshi are some of the best character dynamic duo
it's so good
in this whole thing show.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much.
So we get basically a really quick little recap with where things are at with Goheen and Legoshi.
Yep.
We get a really cool kind of reminder that Legoshi very much utilized Louis as his rock back in the day, in that he was the smell that came the quickest to his mind whenever he needed like something like familiar right there, and thus we get an interaction with Louis and Legoshi, which is very much wanted, warranted, and we're very happy.
Yeah,
very happy that it happened.
Wanted, warranted, and yet a total surprise, because I didn't think that they were going to interact really much at all this season.
Oh, I did.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I did. Yeah. I was like, they will interact before the season's over.
Okay.
100%.
I could have seen that as 100%. like around the finale or something like that.
But that's by the end of the season.
Well, okay, yeah. but like that would be at the earliest, right? I didn't think that it would just be like, oh yeah, because Legoshi is doing his training in the dark market.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no one would believe that a wolf is like, hey, I want to help rehabilitate carnivores and stuff.
No,
you know, and they might even not like that if he did, because then they're less of business for them, less customers, right?
Yeah. But so it happens now because the pacing was such that they wanted it to happen now.
Yep.
Which is that some resource, ivory, is something that they're not getting. So the person
totally
that
makes sense.
Yeah, is a
valuable.
random. Yeah, but it's a really random connection just to have a conversation between these two. We get it. Cool. So they get to it really quickly, and I'm very excited about that because we've had the omniscient perspective. We know what's going on with both of these characters.
But they don't know what's going on with each other.
Exactly. And yet the best part about all this is that their dynamic barely has changed at all over the course of all the time that they've changed as people.
Like
the dynamics is almost exactly the same. If anything, it's just them reacting to the differences of the other person and the ways that they've grown that has maybe changed the dynamic, if at all.
But thematically, or taking it in a general sense, a lot of it is still the same. Even the fact that Louis doubted Legoshi, right?
Right.
That's something where at the beginning of the show, he was like no, come on, you wanna bite me, don't you? You know, he put his hands in his mouth and everything to be like, come on, show me those fangs, right? Show me those teeth.
Yep.
But Legoshi wouldn't do it. Louis was perplexed and proven wrong, right? When he was in a position of leadership, and there might have potentially been some sort of showboating that he would have had to do for the people around him that are underneath him, right? But then you get the conversations that are in private.
Yeah.
Where suddenly some of the walls get to go down a little bit. You talk a bit more honestly, right?
Right.
And it frustrates the hell out of Louis that for all my strength, whatever situation that he's in, the disdain kind of that Legoshi has for his own strength, or the casualness, right? The immense amount of reservation and restraint that he has when it's something that comes this easily to him. Whereas for Louis, he has to fight and claw and do everything he can to, be the head of the Leo group, right? He has to do things like every once in a while eat some meat in front of them so that they know that he's a cold son of a bitch, right?
Right, and that's terrifying for Legoshi, because from his perspective, then Louis is one that is being manipulated by powerful people in his environment, which completely undercuts all of what Louis is trying to do, and makes him really, in some ways, like indignant towards Legoshi, because he's like, how dare you belittle me to the point that, like, I didn't, have some kind of choice with regards to this.
You think I could get this so easily that I could be forced into it?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Not at all.
I absolutely chose this. I had to take it with both hands. Nothing else would have mattered.
I'm fighting daily just to be able to keep doing it.
And even then, it's something where I'm getting help from one of the other people here, and that's why I'm actually still in power, right?
Right.
Otherwise, they probably would have ganged up on me and eaten me by now, you know?
Yeah, and also, I am competent, Legoshi.
Right.
Have you seen my graphs?
Yeah, exactly. I've turned this place all around, like, and that's something that I love that Louis brought up, because with the conversation, once it starts happening and there's the miscommunication and the misunderstanding of, like, you know, them both having such different perspectives and coming from such different worlds by this point that they can't seem to actually share the same language, right? Louis is still incredibly charismatic, and he is very eloquent in communicating, right? Even though there were those hiccups at the beginning, right? He's like, oh, this all must have been a lie. Legoshi was actually, you know, a meat addict or whatever, right? Then he's like, no. There are things here. I'm going to start speaking your language. There are things here that only I can do. Only I can do, because I'm a herbivore. You know, the people feel more comfortable, you know, that are the other herbivores around here, because they know that one of their own kind is in charge, right?
Right.
And Legoshi, and he doesn't just talk about himself, right? Because that would be something that I could see being in a Louis in such a defensive mode
that he's performing.
Right? Whereas this is where you know that it's genuine, because then he turns it back on Legoshi, and he's like, and you get back out there in the light, keep going onwards. There are things that you can do out there that no one else can do. Why do I know that? Because I know that I couldn't do them.
And not only that, because I've felt the experience of being on the receiving end of some of that stuff.
Sure.
And even though it wasn't most of it directed at me, I saw you do that for Haru.
Right.
Like, that was the whole act there. In some ways, Legoshi's act inspired him to act. Right. That's the part in which they are both the light that they believe that they need for, like, they're each the light for the other person, while believing simultaneously that they're not that bright of a light.
Exactly. When Louis went after them and saved them, that was after he had caved, after he had discovered his own weakness, right? That on a vanilla circumstance, right, it wasn't enough, right? Haru's life wasn't enough. He was going to let her die, let her be eaten. She probably already was eaten. You know, excuses, justifications, all that stuff, so he could continue on his current path.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, Legoshi shows a strength that he doesn't have. And then as a result of that, with the same kind of impact that he took in the face from the punch, right, he realizes, I need to change.
Yeah.
So then he goes after them. And when he laughs after killing the boss, that's the laugh of someone who has snapped, of someone who has realized that they're broken, and then since then he has put himself back together, right?
And he's pretty much done with that. In a lot of ways, the only difference is that he loses all that feeling of power for brief moments because of the way he hugs him.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's sad in a maturity kind of way, because you realize how much Legoshi and Louis are both still little boys trying to walk around in, you know, the adults' world and stuff like that.
Louis has to basically, he feels he's constantly having to prove himself. So when Legoshi shows up, and while he's getting the shit beaten out of him by a bunch of people that will probably kill him in very painful ways soon, his tail starts wagging like crazy, because he doesn't care about that. He's not worried at all. He's just so happy that he gets to see Louis. I'm just so happy to see Louis.
It's wonderful, because when you have the story primarily being about how we have a weird, convoluted shape of relationships via drama, love, rivalry, and all this stuff. When you get the two rival boys, really, in the room, and one of them is so happy to see the other, while the other is actually just, why did it have to be you? He's
anyone
like,
but you.
So like I could not make this up.
What are the odds?
What are the odds exactly? Yeah. And then Legoshi's like, never tell me the odds. And
right.
And
friendship.
Friendship. Yeah. Oh, my tail. I'm thinking with my tail, man. I'm sorry. You know. You need to. Well, you talk to me because you've been getting some tail from Haru. Actually, no, my tail hasn't led me in that direction yet.
When he started playing with the strings that were keeping the banners or whatever up, that was so adorable. He's just like, well, actually, really, no matter how much I train and get stronger, I don't understand girls any better. Not even sure if we're really dating or anything.
Legoshi and Louis are just such good characters in this story.
Oh, yeah.
It is so much fun to see together. So, if anything, I'm just sad that this happens so quickly that it might not happen again until Louis decides
over just
to,
like that.
Louis decides to, secretly debut at the school.
Well, that's
as a return for a day or 2 days.
Right. I thought, for a split second...
I really think that's going to happen, though.
That would be amazing if it happened. And for a split second, when the news came in of he can, he's getting the anteater or whatever, he's getting better, he can move his fingers. I thought they were coming in to say,
I was like,
guess
no
who
way.
showed up? And
I was like, no way is he just going to show up that quickly.
It's talk no jutsu isn't that powerful.
Right, because he has to talk to Ibuki and be like, so I need you to cover for me.
Right, I need to go on a business trip.
And Ibuki's like, you're going to go to the school with that boy, right? And he's like, how'd you know? And he's like, I was listening on the roof, you dumbass.
This feels very a totally different situation, but it reminds me of Incredibles, when Mr. Incredible's I need to go on the mission. And then, Mrs. Incredible is like, are you cheating on me? But instead, this time it's we need to keep this a secret from the other people in the Leo group, because otherwise they'll, they'll be like, oh, he's a weakling, he's still going back to school.
Or they'll go to the school and cause problems in general.
And thank you, Legoshi, for coming up with the alternate name, and I love that it was something as simple as name Haruo. Because he's like, I can't use my name. I'm like, Legoshi, no, that's my name.
I can't use Haru.
I can't use Haru. And thankfully, they probably never cared to ask what Haru's name was, when they captured her or whatever, right? Because why would they, right?
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares, right? Yeah. But can you imagine if there was that one person that was like, wait, I think I remember this guy. He said, you're my prey, and he said a name.
His look is different, remember.
That's true.
Remember.
That's true.
And
it was dark when they saw him and all that stuff.
Right. And another thing that's different is that they mentioned a lot of things with smells this episode. And that is that Louis noticed all the school smells of the body wash on him, but he smelled no meat on him. And then, of course, Legoshi knows Louis' smell.
I know your scent. Yeah,
immediately.
I'm an actual scent animal. So
I've got them all cataloged in my mind palace.
Right? Yeah, it was straight up like a mind palace.
He's pulls it out and they're all unlabeled, but he knows immediately this one's Louis.
I love this one. This one always gets me so excited and just gives just makes me feel happy and stuff.
Because this is something that's so cool, because as we've seen Louis leave the drama club and the school and everything like that, we have had the question be about who will take his place.
Right.
And a lot of characters have stepped up at different times to do things that remind everyone of what Louis was all about and stuff. But no one fully embodies that yet.
Right.
Because that would just be, forgery. That would be fake.
I feel like
him.
If Juno and Pina were to somehow
make a baby.
Yeah, if they somehow made a baby, that would probably be the closest thing that we would get to Louis. But it still wouldn't be the same. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to be discussing the...
Pina would probably be up for it, though.
Pina would actually be up for it.
Yeah.
Except he would not father that child.
Oh,
he would not actually do anything to...
And he would be the kind of person that would be like, so, you like Legoshi, but he likes someone else. You want to just bang that out of your system,
Yep.
He would absolutely be that kind of person.
I can take your roughness. In fact, I
I
like
kind
it.
of like it. Yeah.
I don't like sex. I love it. If I don't,
No, don't
love
finish
it,
the line.
I
Don't finish the
don't.
line. Don't finish the line.
But, and Legoshi now has a big butt, according to Louis. It's gotten so big. We now see that Louis has the respect and the, I would say respect is the best word for Legoshi to go and do the other side of the coin that he's basically not occupying. By basically saying, I am going to help those in the darkness, and I want you to take those that are stuck in the darkness that I can't find and bring them out into the light. And we will occupy the yin and yang of this society. And I really feel like that's what the story's been building up to, is that Louis and Legoshi fit both sides of the
societal balance scale.
To just use order and chaos in a way.
Light and dark.
Light and dark, yeah, exactly. What are the...
It wasn't even intentional.
It wasn't intentional
We had these
at all.
shirts on for recording something else, and we're like, fuck it, let's leave them
Why
on,
not?
because Beastars is great, you know?
Yeah, and it's very classy.
Yeah.
So, okay, all right, Legoshi, yeah, you go be not Batman. And just do your thing, man.
But there are some things that you might want to rethink, because pissing off the brown bear in front of a bunch of other people. Now, granted, you kind of do have that power, because unless he escalates to I'm going to kill everyone here,
or just eat and kill him, you know,
sure,
at night. At a place where it really wouldn't be a contest.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But the more social conflict that is established that would give potential motive, like public motive, for him to kill Legoshi, right? If Legoshi were to turn up dead, then that's great. That's helpful for Legoshi. But you are playing with fire, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
You are playing with fire.
And let's give a little bit of a shout out then to Pina again, because Pina's dramatis persona, if you will,
indeed,
was on fire. No, I will not use that word. He's on
Pina
fire.
Would use that word.
No, he would use swallow, but he's on fire. He's absolutely on fire. And just be like, ow, the pain. He's like, oh, there, I channeled the feelings of this equipment here.
Yep, and they're in the drama club, so it kind of makes sense. Yeah.
But then also coming and be like, yep, it's a wrap. Good stuff.
Yep. And then
I felt such big Louis energy from that.
Yeah.
There was so much of it where
quick on his feet.
It was quick on his feet. It was improvisational, but it was also commanding a story that the rest of the group there would be forced to digest.
It felt very Legoshi and Bill kind of situation, where it's the yes, scratch what I said, everything went according to plan, and that's how it was supposed to go. Yes, of course, these two will answer all your questions, you know, like that kind of a thing. But then afterwards, because Pina is very not just quick on his feet, but he is also wise.
Sexy.
That too. Yeah. But he then took Legoshi aside, and he's like, "Hey, we need to draw some boundaries. You know,
I prefer if you don't make me do that again.
I don't really want to do that, and you can't keep relying on me to do that. We need to have this relationship be healthy. You know,
I love Gomen Legoshi.
Right.
Like panic.
Sorry.
I understand.
Right.
Oh my God. Yes.
The doggo energy on Legoshi has been really going up this season, and I think that might have something to do with the fact that he conquered his meat hunger.
Right. He has in some ways become all dogs.
Right.
Whoa. Yeah. Is Legoshi
the wolf powerful? Has been tamed.
He is now truly man's best friend, you know?
Imagine what it would be like if when him and Jack reunite.
I mean, he's at the school, Jake.
I know.
There's no reuniting need to happen. He's just here.
But he's not staying at school anymore. There was okay, he might go back to that. He
goes to the school for just stuff. So what do you mean? What do you mean?
He said goodbye and all that stuff.
No.
So
he literally came back the next episode.
Well, okay, that's true. Okay. All right.
He's just going out and training.
Yeah.
Every other hour outside of school.
Yes.
It basically means that he has a very strict schedule, that he's not going to be having free time
Right. No, it
that's-
doesn't exactly have time to hang out. Right.
with people, and thus, you might have you might be out of a relationship right now with Haru because, one, that proposal thing happened, and I got dressed up and everything for that, and nothing.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Exactly.
What's the deal, Legoshi? Next, yeah.
And then, of course, there's this whole thing of Reese, what's he going to do? Because, he has a lot of self-restraint, Legoshi, and that was
More
enough.
than you.
And that was enough for when you were hanging out with everybody. But what do you also know about Reese is that he has a very specific instance of his self-restraint not being enough.
Right.
So given that,
Treat him with some respect.
and maybe sleep with an eye open, look over your shoulder every once in a while, because
Especially-
he's probably going to do something.
Especially in the meta sense, because this is an 11-episode season,
Uh-huh.
which means that there's only 2 episodes left.
Yep.
And
And also, in the same way that you kept your name a secret from, the Leo group, right?
Right.
Because that would be bad if they
Yeah.
found out who you were and who you care about and all that
Quite.
stuff. Do you think a similar thing might possibly be able to be said for Reese?
yeah.
Because, now granted, it would make you go into a crazy frenzy or whatever, probably, but killing Haru, for instance, wouldn't trace as much back to him as eating you,
I do not.
Just saying.
I am in denial. That is not possible. That is not going to happen.
One bite, probably.
One bite. You could just kick her.
Well, yes, that too. But if you actually wanted to, eat her, Haru just disappears.
You know what I want though?
Nothing
Is
left.
that moment though where Juno starts to become really good friends with Haru, and then if at the slightest inkling
she
of any
sniffs.
kind of territorial,
Right.
just kind of, domineering from anyone else, Juno and Haru just do the and just basically turn on the biggest condescending
I thought
energy.
I thought you were
And-
going to say it would be something of Juno smelling like when Reese was maybe going to go after Haru or something. And
Yeah,
then,
that
and
would
being
make more sense than what I'm suggesting.
But
I
yeah,
just
it would
want
be
the
very
two of
cool
them
to
just
have
be like,
standing back to back
Yeah.
and just
you
noses
would
upturned.
dare,
bitch.
the audacity of this bitch. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. There were a lot of little things that we didn't get to go into in the discussion there, like the stuff in the hospital room. That was
Yes.
really sweet.
Oh my God.
But then also the stuff, with Louis kind of having these little interactions with Ibuki kind of making sure to cover for him,
Setting
and
him up
really,
with the meat and everything, and then Legoshi also seeing that. But yeah. This
There were
episode was so fantastic.
so many great moments this episode.
This episode was so fantastic. We forgot to talk about the hospital scene. That's
It's okay.
That's
It was really emotional. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all next time.